Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Harry Muppet, and welcome back to another daily Masters cast, where we cast a Masters game every single day because why the hell not? And yeah, we're going to have a PvT today, and some really nice players in this PvT. We do have our blue Protoss player, San, down the bottom left side of the map. Is unknown to me a little while ago, but that definitely changed in the Asus ROG, where he did some really awesome stuff. But I won't say any more now because I have no idea if this game is going up before or after the semi-finals in which San takes place. So yeah, but if I haven't uploaded the semi-finals with San in it, yeah, definitely look forward to them because they were awesome. San's an awesome player. And yes, up the top right side of the map, it is going to be Strelok, and haven't seen a lot of him recently. He's in a couple of tournaments I cast like donkeys ago, and he's really good in them. And with these tournaments somebody else cast, I really don't know. But regardless, Strelok is freaking awesome, and he is a Terran player, and that makes him a freaking awesome Terran player. So going in, doing the stuff, making it happen, and doing his Terran race proud. Although this, I'm not sure how this is making his Terran race proud, because he's just leaving himself way open to a scouting probe right there. So I don't know, man. This SCV obviously is I do not know. He's got like 2 left feet, and he tried to move the barracks right and he went left instead. So I don't know, man. As long as the barracks goes up and it's still able to fly after it goes up, then maybe it'll be okay. But we will have to see. We'll have to see. Maybe he's planning on leaving it here permanently and building a tech lab or something over there, which should be interesting. I feel like that's not a bad option, but the thing is, you got to remember, with the very first barracks you get, 90% of the time you're going to want to get a tech lab on it, so you can research STIM, so you can research the Marine Shield, and then your tech lab, which is researching STIM, is just hanging out there. It's just hanging out there, and tech labs don't have a ton of health, so anybody can just walk up and just snipe it, boom, and suddenly your STIM is 100 gas and 100 minerals just completely down the drain from an early snipe by a few stalkers. So not fun at all, which is why usually I would recommend that you'd have the barracks with the tech lab on it a little bit further back. He is actually getting a reactor on the first barracks though, so I can say, yeah, okay, I'll probably give him that. That's probably fine. He'll probably oh, here we go. So it's going to be fast Hellions by the looks of it. So yeah, all right, that's fine. That's good. That's this is actually pretty standard then. Putting the reactor out the front there, and you lift the factory on top of it, and you get Hellions actually usually get the reactor out a little bit slower or faster. Sorry, or slower. One or the other. So it syncs up a little bit better, but it does have the opportunity to double pump the Marines. That's an interesting concept, double pumping Marines, for a little while before he actually needs to move the factory over there. So that's fine, but we are going to be seeing a single Widow Mine. That's interesting. I would have thought he'd move that over there for double Widow Mines, but whatever. The Mothership Core's like, dude, you're actually screwing that build up. You're supposed to move the factory over into the barracks and then produce the Widow Mine straight off that. Except he's doing it in a really whiny robotic voice, which I will not even try to replicate because I'm just going to make myself look like even more of an ass than I usually do. And yeah, it's not going to happen. So there we go, factory coming down. Are we going to see Hellions? Are we going to see Widow Mines? There's going to be the latest factory swap onto a reactor I've ever seen. But you know what? He had other things on his mind. There we go. Double Widow Mines. Could be seeing Widow Mine drops here. And Widow Mine drops, not actually a bad choice, but it kind of falls over in a heap. Kind of. I said that totally messed up just like 5 seconds ago, and it sounded really bad and really good at the same time. But anyway, moving on. We've actually got Hellbats coming out. So maybe this isn't going to be a Widow Mine drop. Maybe it's just going to be a Hellbat drop. Widow Mine drops actually are pretty good if you're fairly certain your opponent doesn't have an observer. If they've got an observer, then it's not really going to be that much, because the main job of a Widow Mine drop in the mineral line isn't to kill workers, because the workers can usually get out of there fairly fast. It's to stop the workers from coming back. Because once you get the Widow Mine there and the Protoss doesn't have an observer, you can't kill the Widow Mine. He doesn't want to move his workers there, so nothing can mine off this base while the Widow Mine is there, unless you move like a single probe in, take the Widow Mine hit, and then move them back into mine. But you got to remember to take them out again when the Widow Mine cooldown is down, and trying to work that shit out in your head, a little bit dicey. So yeah, what's this guy got? Double Hellbat. So yeah, a couple of Stalkers coming out. They know that something is up. Excuse me. There's this beautiful Zelnaga tower probably ran straight through that, so not very fortunate for Strelok, and San is going to hold off. And I honestly feel like there's these guys are going to be pretty evenly matched. I mean, I cast a game before, I believe it was Lucifron versus Sort of, and I got to be completely honest, from the start I was expecting Lucifron to dominate, and he pretty much did. I mean, he didn't completely overwhelm Sort of held off pretty well, but there was never a point where I was in the game and I was like, you know what, I think Sort of actually, I think Sort of's in the lead. I think he's got a chance to really nail Lucifron in the next few minutes. There was never really that moment that came up. I always felt like it was either even or Lucifron was in the lead, and most of the time Lucifron was in a good position. But this game, I don't know, maybe I just don't know that much about the players, maybe I haven't seen enough of them, but I feel like this is going to be, did he actually take damage from that? I feel like this is a Stalker hit, because that would have been a bit crazy, and a little bit tired. But yeah, I feel like this game is a lot more evened out. Maybe it's just because I don't know a lot about these players, but yeah, I feel like it could be anybody's game. Nobody's really going out there and trying to dominate. Nobody's really sort of flexing their muscles in this game so far. There was a Hellbat drop, an attempted Hellbat drop there, but it was Strelok. He's basically, he's not saying, haha, I'm better than you, I'm going to wipe out all your workers. He's saying, you know what, I've heard that Hellbat drops are pretty good. I thought I'd give it a try. You know, I got some Hellbats in this dropship. I'm going to go over there and I'm going to have a crack at some of your workers, and you know, we'll see what happens. You know, we'll have a gentleman's agreement that if I take out some workers, then it succeeded, and if you hit my dropship with a couple of Stalkers, then I'm just going to back off and we'll have to try something new. But you know, as long as we're both happy about it, as long as it's all done in good taste, and we all bow before the start of the game and shake hands and all that sort of stuff, then I feel like we're going to have a pretty top game here. I mean, that's the sort of game that's starting to feel like, and I'm quite sure there'll be some ungentlemanly conduct at some point of this game. Like somebody will start to get out DTs, or somebody will drop Widow Mines in the mineral line, and then things will start to go to shit. But for now, I feel like it's doing pretty good. I mean, the Strelok's definitely like, oh yeah, top job, son. Getting the Zealot out in my main base. I definitely didn't see that coming, but haha, I've defended and I've knocked you off. So what are you going to do now? And yeah, a little bit of light-hearted taunting never hurt anybody. So there we go. Actually, a lot of tanks here. This is I don't know if it's turning into a mech army. He's got 2 vehicle weapons and he's got 2 melee weapons. He better not be going. He may be going for just both weapons of both types at the moment. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going for armor at all. And this is actually going to be a very, very interesting combination. Hellbat, Marauder, Tank, Marine. So it's like the best of both worlds, really. Not too many dropships to hail off the Marines, Marauders, but a couple, mainly for drop purposes. And I feel like this is just going to go very, very badly. Although San, look at this man, 5 Immortals. He could not have picked a better unit to go off against these Force, man. The Hellbats are going to get smushed. The Marauders are going to get smushed. And the Marines are just going to get hit quite badly by everything else. Does he have Storm? Storm is just about to come up. And meanwhile, Strelok thinks he's doing beautifully, and he is doing beautifully, but I think San can hold off, and San already has the third base down. I don't know whether Strelok... Oh god, I'm missing the main battle. He hasn't even started building a third command center yet. He's really been caught up quite a bit. Look at the storms coming down. Feedback on the dropship, but not that much energy, so it doesn't go down. And the tanks are really holding here. I feel like he needs to flank off the top side. Snipe a couple of these tanks. Meanwhile, just move in. Get off some good storms. Where are the storms going down? He needs to start getting those good storms down. Oh, look at the beautiful snipes down there. The Immortals going in, and they got to be microing out these tanks. The tanks all go down very, very fast. Some beautiful storms going down. Zealots with legs definitely helping. And it looks like San is going to break this contain without too many problems. The Immortals really, really doing a great job there. And... yeah, I'm actually surprised that army went down so fast. I feel like a lot of it was to do with the fact that the dropships, there were not enough dropships to really heal these guys up, but also just the storms. He just stormed the living shit out of everything, and the tanks tried to micro and to actually target the High Templar when the High Templar came out, and he hit a couple of them, but he wasn't fast enough to completely own them. I feel like the High Templars, it takes 2 hits to kill them, but you got to kill them in one shot, otherwise the storms just come down. And even with one shot, the storms can still come down. So the army just got completely owned there. We'll go back a little bit and take another look, because I want to see how all those Marines and Marauders really went down, because they went down so fast. I feel like it must have been storms that had taken these guys out. Let's get a groovy camera angle. See, that's a lot of storms going down there. And they're not really sure of their position. Their position is a little bit off. And their tanks are getting really, really exposed because they're so scared of the storms. And yeah, they're trying. They don't know where they want to be. But here we go. They're moving in. And this main force still in there. But it looks like the Zealots getting up nice and close. Storms on that back patch is going to take most of them out. And the Zealots just finishing the rest of them off. So without massive siege tank support, the Zealots just go down. I mean, the Zealots stay up. It needs massive siege tank support to really shell the Zealots. What you want to do is you want to have Marines, Marauders, Hellbats here, tanks there, the Zealots run in, they get the shit shelled out of them, 80% of them are dead by the time they get in there, and then the rest of them die pretty quickly. At least half of your Marine Marauder force is still alive, and they are what you use to buffer the rest of the forces. They buffer the Immortals and the Stalkers and all that sort of stuff, and give the siege tanks time. And you need those guys to be microed onto hitting the Immortals before they can hit the tanks. Now the problem here was Strelok. He didn't have his army in a good position. He was too scared of the storm. He kept twitching his army back a little bit, and unintentionally he left the siege tanks exposed. The siege tanks were just too exposed. Sand went in there, boom, 2 seconds flat, he'd wiped out all the tanks with the Immortal fire. Then the Zealots went in, and there was no siege tank fire left to take out all those Zealots, and the Zealots just creamed everything else. And the storms definitely helped, but I'm thinking it was mainly the Zealots getting in nice and close. He just started wiping everything out. So really, really nice play there from San. He saw the opportunity, he took it, and he made an awesome play of it. And Strelok just he didn't seem very confident in this position. He was getting on top of the ramp, but it seemed like he was backed into a corner, even though he was the one attacking there. And yeah, he didn't really seem that confident there, and he should have backed out. He should have, if he wasn't really confident, if he knew those Immortals were there, if he wasn't really confident, he should have just backed out. But he was right on the threshold. He wanted to make it work, and he left his siege tanks open for a little bit too long, and he lost the game because of that. So there we go. Great defense from San, and yeah, congratulations to him for winning this awesome battle. And yeah, I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Daily Masters game. Stay tuned for that. This has been Hairy Muppet. I hope you enjoyed this game.